Okay, a quick video about how to get those shelves into your wall. I have some generic walls here, if you take a look, just 2 feet thick, and I'm going to cut some holes in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my south elevation. You may need to get a section or isolate your wall somehow, but you can see here is the wall, right? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this wall plane, right? If I go to shaded, you might be able to see it better. There's the wall and there's that back plane we want to draw on. So I'm going to set this wall as my current work plane by going to set, and it's showing it as the current work plane, but it may or may not in yours. You see how it says basic wall generic 2 feet. If I go to pick a plane, if it's not current, which yours probably isn't, go to pick a plane and click OK, and then hover over that wall. You see how it's picking that wall? And I'm going to left click, and it's going to select that as my drawing plane. So now it's going to draw anything on that plane. So I'm going to go to model line now, and I'm going to go to rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle on here. Okay, and then of course I'll go to hidden line so we can see those dimensions a little better. You can come in and set by selecting what you want to move. You can set these dimensions. So if I set that to like 1'6", right, and then I come up here and pick this one and set that to 2 feet, right. Now I've got a box of a certain size. You can check that it's 2 feet. You can come in here, you can draw another box, or you can pick this one, go to your modify and copy. I can pick multiple here, and if I pick a point I can copy that over, 3'6", copy that over 3'6", and you can adjust these however you want. I'm going to leave them like this because I want to show you a way that you can sort of more easily adjust the voids that we're going to make. Alright, so now if I go to my 3D view, those things are nicely situated on my wall. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Architecture, Component, Model in Place. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select Walls because we have to categorize these voids in the same category as what we're cutting. So I'm going to name this Wall Void. If I can spell, Wall Voids. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to extrusion. Alright, and I'm going to go to pick line, and it's going to pick that top line, but it's not going to allow me to pick any of the other lines, which is a little annoying. So I'm going to go to set, and it's set at level 1, and I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to pick plane, click OK, and I'm going to hover until I get that wall plane. So it's setting that as my work plane. Now if I go to the pick line, I can hover over these and tab select, and it will pick them, and I can lock my extrusion to those model lines. Alright, so and you can do multiple extrusions at once. So I'm just going to come in here and lock those, and then I'm going to hit check, and we're going to see those extrusions pop out, and you'll see the extrusion end and extrusion start. You can actually come in here and set this to -1 foot. And now it's popping those guys in there. We can set parameters to these. I'm not going to do that right now. If you want to sort of take it a little further, we can set parameters and control how far that goes in and out. Okay. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change these to a void. So now they're voids. And I'm going to come up here to my geometry, and there is a cut. So if I go down here, I can cut geometry, and I want to cut from those. Right? So now if I go to finish, I have those holes, right, cut in here. Now if I go back into, I might be able to do it in 3D, let's try it. If I tab select and I get one of those lines, so it's a little hard to see, like remember those model lines that exist out here? I locked my extrusion lines to those model lines, so if I tab, I can wait until it says line model line and pick on that. And if I change the distance of that to 1 foot, right, it's now going to update that extrusion, right? So if I control Z, it'll go back. So let's say you wanted the top of this, right, to be a different height. So let's go to our south elevation. I think it might be safer. Let me see if I can get this. It's got to work. Let's see if it'll let me move it. So see how it'll move? And it's just doing a dimension to something that it knows. Like I could actually dimension from this to there and put a parameter. I mean, we could do a lot of things, but you could come in now and select. If you tab, you can, whoops, you can select these model lines and just move them where you want them to be, or you can use these dimensions, to create that. All right, now you need shelves. So I guess if you move that guy, right, it's still kind of disconnected there, but it's working. So now you need shelves in here. Okay, so the next thing I'll show you are shelves.